Dear viewers, have you ever seen in your life anything that was so cute that it immediately makes you feel a sense of happiness or giddiness? Something that makes you kick your little feet and hide your face partially because you're holding your breath in anticipation of what happens next? Well, if not, then do I have the show for you. Dandadan is a rom-com supernatural thriller that slowly shows two high schoolers realizing their feelings for each other while simultaneously having to deal with threats such as yokai, aliens, evil grannies, and even more yet to come, I'm sure. Currently, there are 10 episodes available for watch, and the season doesn't seem like it's ended quite yet. In fact, leaving off the last episode on a pretty significant cliffhanger in a similar fashion to most of the prior episodes. So, without further ado, let's get into Dandadan. What makes this show great, what I'm looking forward to in the coming episodes, what I hope doesn't happen with the rest of the series, and overall, what the trajectory of this show looks like as of right now. And if you're excited for more content like this, or you have ideas, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below for me. Make sure you leave a comment letting me know what you'd like to see or what you liked about this video, and let's get back into it. The plot of the series is honestly pretty straightforward so far and has no problem keeping a good pace episode to episode. Momo Ayase is a high school girl who believes in ghosts but not aliens, and Ken Takamura is a high school boy who believes in aliens but not ghosts. After a chance encounter by the two of them, they set off to prove the other wrong about the existence of their beliefs. So Momo's trying to prove to Ken that aliens don't exist and vice versa. And of course, through the power of dumb luck, both characters would happen to prove the other right, even though Ken had never seen aliens and Momo had never seen a ghost. This leads to the main plot point of the story so far. Now, this show and manga are rated 16+, so there's going to be some explicit stuff in these stories, and the main plot point is both the aliens and ghosts, or yokai rather, want the testicles of Ken Takamura for some reason, so the rating definitely fits. This is no joke either. Episode 1 has a character named Turbo Granny asking Ken if she can, quote, gobble his dong in exchange for allowing him to suckle her teat. So, this show is a little weird and explicit. Everything is of course laid out in a comedic manner and doesn't show anything graphic, but then we cut to the aliens who have Momo hostage and plan to seemingly rip out her reproductive organs in order to be able to reproduce properly. And the imagery shown in the first episode is a little more than I would have liked to see personally, but thankfully imagery like this hasn't persisted into episodes 2 through 10. Everything about this story, aside from the supernatural stuff, feels like an actual high school relationship that I'm watching develop, like a fly on the wall, and what I'm seeing from these two is absolutely adorable and genuine. I'm kicking my feet each and every time they interact and realize something inside themselves or each other, because you can just feel how palpable the feelings are becoming between these two. Not to mention the separate love interests that will be making things more difficult for our protagonist, this story is so fun to watch unfold. Also, as a side note, I really like the transformations in this show. Not only the appearance, but how they're approached as well. The ways in which characters get their overall powers feels and slightly reminds me of Bleach, and I really like how the characters don't have to make a big flashy spectacle of transforming. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, obviously, it's just I like seeing something a little bit different, add in a little variation to the mix. While doing a bit of research for this series, you come to find out pretty quickly of a story where the original plan for Dandadan was originally more of like a classic battle shonen, like your Naruto's and your multiple pieces, but once again it is thanks to the editors of the mangaka that the series was saved. Reportedly, the editor of Dandadan, Shihei Lin, forced the creator of the series, Yukinobu Tatsu, to read 100 romance manga before finally creating the masterpiece we have here today. And thank God he did, because it clearly shows in the writing of the story. I personally think that making the move of reading 100 romance manga was such an excellent idea, because I'm sure doing so allowed Yukinobu to see what does and doesn't work. What has poor reception among fans and what's cringy versus what's natural and what makes the reader feel all giddy inside, like they're experiencing the love in that moment as well. I can say with utmost certainty that those feelings absolutely translate in this show. Other than that, there's not a whole lot for me to say about the history of the series at the moment, as most of it is relatively new, and from what I can gather has only recently been created in 2021. There still seems to be new chapters in the work, so I don't think the series is over quite yet, but it's nearing 200 chapters, and honestly, since I haven't read the manga, I can't say for certain, but 200 is typically a pretty good stopping point for a lot of manga, or at the very least, is around the point where big climactic events are about to happen for the story. Chapter 200 in Naruto was the heart of the Sasuke retrieval arc. Chapter 200 of Hunter x Hunter shows Pito developing his Nen ability, and we know exactly what that leads to. Chainsaw Man, which is a series I know practically nothing about, is on chapter 185, and I don't know what's happening per se, but it looks pretty climactic from the quick glance I could take, and I could totally see that series ending in the next 40 chapters or so, but I'm just speaking out of pure speculation on this part, so don't take my word for that. Either way, what we do have for the manga adaptation so far is absolutely adorable, and I can't wait to hear the announcement for a season 2 of this show. Honestly, this show is super adorable, and I think that everyone should give it a try if able. Like I said before, episode 1 can be jarring, depending on what type of imagery you may or may not have seen before, and I definitely wouldn't suggest this being your parents' first anime, but past episode 1 has been nothing but good times all around. Each character has a super distinct personality, and like every show should, melds them together flawlessly. The introduction of each love interest gets me fired up in defending Ken and Momo's relationship like they're actual people I know and want to defend personally. And very seldom has a show made me feel so passionately about fictional characters. I mentioned in my previous videos, and a few others in the past, that Naruto has always been my favorite anime and will continue to be until something finally takes its place. Folks, this is the first time I have ever watched a series post my Naruto experience and have questioned if this is my new favorite show. What I will say is that if this show continues on the trajectory it's going, it definitely has the potential to take the coveted spot as my favorite series of all time. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please let me know down in the comment section below. I really enjoyed talking about Dandadan. I've been loving watching this series. So if you like Dandadan as well, tell me what your favorite part has been down below. If you have an anime that maybe you'd like to hear me cover, let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I hope to see you all next time.